Welcome to episode 76 of the Girl About the Globe podcast. For this episode, I'm sharing some exciting, huge news. If you want to make an impact and you're unsure how to do it, then this podcast episode could be for you. Stay tuned.
Welcome to Girl About the Globe, a podcast for you, the solo female traveller, empowering women to travel solo with maximum adventure, minimum impact.
Have you ever had a vision so big that it scares you? I've been toying with an idea for a few years, and it was one of those ideas that I had always put off. The idea was too big and it just seemed so unobtainable. The thoughts kept coming into my head of, I don't know how to do it. I'll start it when travel picks up again. I'll look into it when I'm more successful. I always seem to find an excuse and a story that I would always tell myself. The biggest one had to be, who am I to start this? But that niggling feeling was constantly there, bubbling away every single time that I travelled. On my recent trip in November to West Africa, the idea was brought to the forefront again. I saw children working on the streets and living in poverty, and I knew that there was more I could be doing to help. Don't get me wrong, not in a white saviour way, but in a more sustainable way, to create opportunities to help lift children out of poverty and get the care that they need after experiencing trauma. I've seen some amazing organisations and projects out there that I've come across who are in alignment with how I want to help. But my idea was still too scary. So I did some research and then parked the idea again, focusing on my solo travel Q&As and updating my Plan Your Dreams solo trip course. Then the situation happened in Ukraine. And as I listened to the first-hand experience of someone I'd met in Ukraine during my trip there, who's posting daily videos on the situation, I felt hopeless. So how could I possibly help those fleeing the country? More importantly, how can I help the children that shouldn't be experiencing the fear, the confusion, and the displacement and separation from their parents as a result of the conflict? So I decided, I don't want to feel hopeless anymore. 10 years ago, in February, I started my blog to document if there was life after divorce. Yes, there is. And my journey has taken me to 136 countries. But the more that I travel, the more I see the poverty and issues within these countries. And I really feel that as travellers, we have a duty to give back to the communities of the countries that we visit and to help empower the lives of the children that we meet. I've always donated 10% of the net profits of Girl About the Globe to organisations helping vulnerable girls, but now it's time to step up and do more. So I'm starting a Girl About the Globe Foundation. I've always been an advocate for conscious travel, and my strapline is maximum adventure, minimum impact. My vision is to create 100,000 conscious travellers and to impact the lives of 100,000 vulnerable girls about the globe before 2025. I believe that every girl in every single country in the world should have access to shelter, water, education, aid, love and protection, and I aim to empower those who don't. For my 10% that I've been donating, I've chosen organisations that align with these values. I currently donate to War Child, which covers the protection element of it. War Child empowers children and young people in conflict zones by providing psychological support, education and protecting children from the trauma of war. For Love, I donate to Invisible Girl Project. They're a non-profit organisation that seeks to end the atrocity of gendercide in India. For Shelter, I donate to Street Child, who have dedicated street teams and social workers who gain the trust of street children to help them back on the road to a secure family environment. For Education, I work with Malala's Fund, who in Afghanistan, instead of going to school, especially now with the Taliban ruling, girls are either sent to factories to work, forced to marry, or denied an education. For Water, I work with Just a Drop. Did you know that 785 million people don't have access to safe water? So Just a Drop works by bringing sustainable safe water, sanitation and hygiene projects to communities. And for Aid, I work with the International Rescue Committee, who are a global humanitarian aid and relief non-governmental organisation that responds to the world's worst humanitarian crisis. I'm currently donating 10% of any bookings made through Girl About the Globe through the month of March to the IRC, the International Rescue Committee, who are working with refugees fleeing Ukraine. For the Girl About the Globe Foundation, I'll continue to donate 10% of my net profits to these organisations that I've just mentioned, because I think they do amazing work helping vulnerable girls, and I also want to start new projects in countries too. But for the foundation, I really want to concentrate on one word, which is hope. That's where trauma bears come in. Trauma bears are a way of providing comfort to a child affected by trauma. They show them that others are thinking of them, and they give them a feeling of hope. I came up with the idea of a trauma bear when I was approached by a man in a cafe in Baku in Azerbaijan. He was deaf and he was selling these really small pink teddies as a way of income. I immediately bought one from him, and my little pink teddy became my travelling companion, travelling with me on my solo travels. Even when its eye fell off, I kept it with me. It was small enough to carry in my backpack, and it gave me a sense of comfort travelling alone, especially when I had those lonely moments on the road. Then I had a realisation. If it gave me, a grown woman in my 40s, so much comfort, what would it give a young girl going through trauma? I researched it and discovered that my idea wasn't new. Traumateddies were an initiative started by the Australian Red Cross in 1990. They asked people to knit teddies, and then they sent the knitted teddies to children affected by disaster events. So again, I sat with the idea for years, not doing anything about it, not really believing that I could do it or even knowing how to do it. Then I saw a news report. It was of a child clutching her teddy bear as her family left Ukraine. And I knew it was the right time to step out of my own way and make my vision of trauma bears come true. My goal is to send these soft little bears to children that are affected by conflict, to show them that others are thinking of them, and to give them comfort at night, and to give them a feeling of hope within a traumatic period in their lives. But I don't feel like I can do this alone. So I'm launching the Humanitarian Girl About the Globe to coincide with the Girl About the Globe Foundation. But it isn't a donation platform. Instead, it's a membership where you'll receive products and services in exchange for your support, and because it's connected to Girl About the Globe, it will also empower you more to travel solo, as well as giving back. For every membership, I'll send a trauma bear to a child in a conflict zone. Girl About the Globe already stands for empowerment, freedom, and being our authentic selves, but the Humanitarian Girl About the Globe believes in unity and compassion for the world. She wants to help build a better world for our children and learn about the issues affecting the lives of children to help them transcend their circumstances and provide them with the opportunities that every single child should have, especially in this day and age. Why become a Humanitarian Girl About the Globe? Because you believe in what Girl About the Globe stands for. You share our vision and you want to make an impact too. The humanitarian traveller cares about the people in the country that they visit, and they want to help alleviate girls from poverty and change their lives. The membership is monthly, and there are 4 different levels to join. There's the pink backpack, which is £2.50 a month. That's for you if you would like to support Girl About the Globe and you believe in our vision. You'll receive your name on the Girl About the Globe Foundation as a Patreon to say a massive thank you for helping to support our vision. You'll also receive a virtual badge showing that you're a humanitarian girl about the globe, and I'll send a trauma bear to a child affected by conflict. The second level up is a Humanitarian Girl About the Globe, which is £5 a month. You receive all of the above, plus all of the Girl About the Globe digital products, including the Plan Your Dream Solo Trip course for 2022, our Solo Travel Starter Bundle, and free tickets to our Solo Travel workshops. Plus you'll also receive the Solo Travel Card, which is a loyalty card for solo travellers, where you get to tell us what brands you love, and we go and ask them for discounts, and then hope that they say yes. And because February was National Boost Your Self-Esteem Month, I'm also going to include a 30-day empowerment plan to help you feel more confident. The third level is the Illuminated Girl About the Globe, which is £10 a month. You receive all of the above, plus as an Illuminated Girl About the Globe, you have your say on which destinations you would like content produced for. The last one is the Enlightened Girl About the Globe, which is £15 a month. Again, you'll receive all of the rewards that I've just mentioned, plus a 30-minute one-to-one with me every 2 months for either help with empowerment to travel solo, personal help planning your trip, or a distance Reiki session. Every single month I'll also be sharing a journalistic story highlighting issues that I've come across in my travels. And as soon as I hear of any products or organisations that are doing their bit to help the world, you'll be the first to know about them. I'm really excited about starting a foundation. I must admit it scares me, but it does feel like the right time to do it. We really can help make a difference, and I would love it if you would join me on this journey. So if this resonates with you and you would like to be a humanitarian girl about the globe, you can find out more in the link that I'm attaching to the podcast. If this isn't something that interests you, but you'd still like to help impact the life of more vulnerable girls, just continue to book your trip through the site, and I'll be donating 10% of the net profits to all the organisations that I spoke about earlier. Thank you so much for supporting Girl About the Globe and for listening to this podcast. I know that this podcast episode was purely just about the foundation and about stepping up, and I really hope it resonates with you. Next week, I'll be back with another interview, so take care and I will see you next week.
Thanks for listening to our Girl About the Globe podcast, making solo travel easier for you. Find everything that you need for your solo travels at girlabouttheglobe.com, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss an episode.